Hello, Drew. It's great to hear from you, man. So, hey, I'm at our class here. So this is the CMAP 1680-60 class. Here's the URL for it. You can certainly get to it through by going to your courses and stuff like that in Canvas. So the class itself is broken up into weeks, hopefully. Um, each one of these weeks lists a bunch of assignments that you're responsible for. So let me just close a bunch of these things so we can kind of just eliminate some of the noise here. So if we go to this week, right now we're working on the March 1 to March 7, and that's Excel 2. It's probably wise for you to go take a step back and to work on this Excel tutorial module 1. And begin that way. So I'm guessing that you have not done some of the basic stuff here. And that basic stuff includes downloading and extracting the data files to your computer. Those are the starter files that you're going to need for each one of the assignments. And I'll show you the book here in just a second. If you don't have Office downloaded onto your computer, you can kind of follow along with these instructions and install the applications onto your computer. If you've already got it, you can skip that. These download and extract your data files to this computer. There's a short video, but basically what you're trying to do is you're going to click on Excel. I'm using Google Chrome. If I click on Excel, it's asking me where I want to save it. If I click on a folder, I'll give it a new folder name, and I'll call it CMAP 1680 Spring 2021. So there's my new folder. I'm going to put that Excel data file in there. I'm also going to do the same thing with the Word, because we'll need that as well. We're going to need the Access tutorials. Put those in there. We'll get the PowerPoints. We'll put those in there as well. And then there's the second part of the PowerPoint. So we've got all these things saved into our folder right now. So if I just go back to that folder that has all that stuff located in it, so we're working on the Excel documents right now. So this is a compressed, zipped file. So this is kind of like, it's inside of a suitcase, basically, and you won't be able to use it. It's kind of like going on vacation. You can't get your bathing suit on until you unzip your suitcase and take out your belongings. So the way that we do that is you can right-click on this, you can choose Extract All, and if you show extracted files when complete, it's probably going to put it right into that same folder that we were in. So if I extract it, notice what it does, Excel 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go back here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So now we have an Excel with a zipper, and we have an Excel without a zipper. One's a file folder, which is normal. One is a compressed, zipped folder. So we're not going to use that, but let's keep hold of that maybe. And we'll just call this an archive. And I'm going to click, hold, and drag, move that Excel file into the archive with the zipper. And then the one I'm going to use for the class is going to be this. Excel 1, 2, 3, 4 stands for Excel Chapter 1, Excel Chapter 2. And each one of these is a different portion of the chapter. So in this class, we're going to be doing the modules, and then we're also going to be completing the reviews. We're going to be generally skipping the case problems. Not always, but mostly. And how this works is, let me get to the book so I can kind of show you what that looks like. And you should have a paper copy of this book. And the paper copy of the book is going to look a little bit like this. It's going to look like Office 2016. It's got the yellow cover on it. And there'll be a second. And so it's going to kind of look like that. We're working on the Excel modules. And if I go to the Excel modules, they're going to have the green colored tabs on them. And Excel Module 1 starts in the very beginning of the green section, and you'll be able to kind of see all of the information here. So there's some pictures in here that you're going to need to follow through with and look at. Each one of these green bubbles on these pages next to the pictures indicate things that you're going to be covering in that chapter. It's worth looking at. Here's the magic part. These are the sections in the tan-colored boxes that have the steps that you need to complete in order to successfully create the documents for this class. So you can skip the things, well, don't skip the pictures, but you can skip the things that are in the white sections because you don't necessarily need to memorize those, but the tan-colored boxes are the important parts. It's kind of like making ramen. There's lots of pretty pictures on the ramen package, but usually if somebody hasn't made ramen before, they just want to read the recipe, and those steps are labeled like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're dealing with here. And if you skip a step, it could wreck your entire document. If you go out of sequence, it could wreck your document. But if you follow the steps in the tan-colored boxes in sequence, and you do exactly what they say, you'll have a pretty solid document. So the next thing is, that's considered the tutorial with all those tan-colored boxes. The review assignment is at the very end of the chapter. So here's the end of the tan-colored boxes on page 57. And then if we go over to page 58, that's where the review assignment is located. So this is kind of a duplicate assignment. So it's got a lot of the same kinds of tools and instruction in it, except it's much more compressed. So there's 21 steps instead of 50 pages. So there's just 2 pages worth of stuff. The assignment is generally going to be a little simpler. In other words, it's not going to be as involved, but it'll cover all of the same objectives in a very, very short and sweet type of way. You can't really do the review assignments easily without doing the tutorials. So do the tutorial, then follow it up by doing the review assignment itself. Same thing's going to happen for the subsequent chapters as well. So after the review assignment, you'll see all these case problems. All those are in the blue pages. And then at the end of those blue pages, you're going to get to the next chapter, and that's going to be Module 2. So this is where you begin the tutorial section again for the second chapter. Each one of these chapters for the tutorials and the reviews have a corresponding Dropbox for the in the class. So let me find this for you. So if we go to Excel Module 1, so there's the tutorial Dropbox. If you click on that, you submit the assignment. Okay? If you are working on the review, you hit the review, submit the assignment. Okay. It also lists the page numbers and the items that you should be submitting with that. So with this one, you're going to be submitting 2 files. For the review assignment, you likely will have 2 files as well. For some of the upcoming chapters, you might have more. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Looks like for the review, it's just going to be 1 file that you submit. So see if you can get going on that. I would recommend starting off with Excel 1. Once you get through the Excel, and I'd say get ahead of the game at this point, I'm willing to go back and reopen some of those Word modules for you to complete so that you can actually get the class passed. So I'd say focus on the Excel right now because you don't need to know any of the Word stuff to do the Excel. They're pretty much separate, but you'll need to get through this quickly. So if you're just following my timeline, you're going to screw yourself. So you'll need to work more quickly through the Excel stuff, and then I can open up those Word documents and you can crush those out as well, Drew. So anyway, hopefully this makes sense. We have enough time left in the semester for you to be able to get through this, but if you do waste many days, it's gonna cost pretty hard. At this point, I'd say the highest grade you're going to get is probably a B if you absolutely crush everything, because it's a little bit unfair to the other students, um, since they've been kind of keeping up as much as possible. So, but that's a pretty good deal, since you haven't been present for the last 7 weeks or so. So anyway, stay in touch with me. Let me know what I can do to help. The other thing you might begin to find is that I've got some tutorials for some of the more difficult assignments here, and that should be helpful for you. For these Excel 1 and 2, I think there's just some very basic skills. I don't really want to make tutorial videos for those because I think those are just navigation sorts of stuff. So anyway, hopefully that helps, and I'll look forward to hearing more from you and to see your assignments flying into the drop boxes. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon, Jer. Bye.